Hello, Noreen. Hello, Noreen. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Hi, Adrian. Hello. Good to see you, or good to touch base with you guys. So, hey, I might as well start now. Yeah, welcome again from Mapua Wharf here on a beautiful sunny day, as we expect here. We're in the hi from the Netherlands. Hello. Um, yeah, from sunny Mapua, we have summer season here. For you guys in the Northern Hemisphere, it's obviously a bit different. So my name is Michael Nees. I'm a local here. I have been a tour guide and a travel agent over the past 35 years. And yeah, I've now started to do a bit of live streaming, filming, 360, etc. So I really enjoy that to talk about the history, talk about the area, especially here. And yeah, I can't wait to show you more. So give you a little bit of a breakdown what's happening today. We'll walk around here to Mapua Wharf. We will be talking about the location, about what's so special about this place, and I'll show you some arts and crafts places. We'll talk about food, wine, and yeah, we'll talk about the cycling trail as well. There's a lot of things to go through, so I think we should get started right away. One more thing, later on, or during the mid-term of the session, my wife will actually join me today, which is great. So she can bring another perspective to the Mapua Wharf. So here, as you can already see, I'll just switch the camera around now. So this is much more interesting than this face of this guy. So this is Mapua Wharf as an overview. We'll get there. You might can spot, we already have a couple of young ladies that are jumping off the wharf, which is quite a thing to do in that time of the year, in summertime. It's a classic. So just give you a quick shot around where we are. So I don't have a map with me right now, but if you look at a New Zealand map, we're kind of right in the middle of New Zealand. It's the northern tip of the South Island. So we around about 35 kilometers from Nelson and another 35 kilometers from the Abel Tasman National Park. So let's go a little bit into the details here about Mapua. I've got a beautiful little sign here with, we've got the old seagulls here. Look at them, the seagulls are dancing around at the moment. So Mapua. We are here in Mapua. So this is the Mapua sign. Mapua is actually the Maori name for place of abundance. And I really think the tour about it's actually all about abundance. It's about food, wine, arts, crafts, as well as the scenery. So let's go through it and spot it on the map. Great, Christine. Good to see. Good to see. So yeah, it's if you have any questions, guys. So if you any shout out, let me know what you want to know. We have about an hour's time. One more thing, that there's a couple of corners here which the reception with the internet, with the Wi-Fi, is maybe not that great. So be with me. I know the corners, but I go through them as soon as I can. So again, Mapua, place of abundance. Maybe let's start right from the end, because before New Zealand, the first settlers to New Zealand came around about 1400, where Polynesian seafarers, they actually made their way basically from Tahiti way, and these were the first settlers into New Zealand. You have to imagine, before that, they were just birds. They were just birds, and obviously there were no mammals, just birds, bush, totally pristine. And the first seafarers, the first European seafarers, came in 1642, Abel Tasman, where we obviously have the name from Abel Tasman National Park, and then James Cook came 1769. So just to give you a bit of an overview on the first overview on the history, there's so much to talk about. So I want to give you an overview of the Mapua Wharf. So we'll usually walk a little bit onto the higher grounds here to show you where we are, really. So Mapua Wharf is actually part of the Mapua village. Mapua village is A small place, about 3,000 people living here, a small community, and it's part of the Tasman region. So we have around about 50,000 people living in the Tasman region, and we have the next larger city really is Nelson. So I just jumped on a park bench here, so have a bit of an overview. So we're looking here at the Mapua Wharf area. We have the cold storage areas, the former ones, and we have the bicycle shop, we have the Renew bar, which is a wine bar, and we basically will do the loop, we'll go through all of them. We've got a couple of restaurants and a fish and chips shop, which we also go into. So in the background, we can see basically this direction here is north, so facing north. So we have the sun standing in the north at lunchtime. So it's a bit different to the northern hemisphere, obviously. So we have on the other side here, you might consider those trees. That is Rabbit Island. Then I'll talk about Rabbit Island in a little bit more detail when we talk about the cycle trail. But basically behind Rabbit Island, around 35 kilometers away, is Nelson, the city of Nelson, around about 50,000 people living here. So it gives you kind of an idea. New Zealand is, especially the South Island, is fairly underpopulated. There's around about 900,000, maybe 950 now on the South Island. So it's not like, you know, up in the US or in Europe. So it's very few people actually around here. So let's go through here and hit the first treasure, so to say, the first place of abundance, which is all to do about food. So we're basically heading back here, back towards the wharf, and we have a lovely little restaurant here. It's called the Apple Shed. So the Apple Shed is actually, it's a kind of a, it tells you already a little bit about what I'm going to talk about now. It's about apples. So the Apple Shed is and everyone else. Okay, the Apple Shed basically is one of the restaurants here, and what Mapua used to be is actually part of an apple export operation. So in the late, in the mid 1850s, the first settlers came over, and some of them all, from the UK, some of them from Germany, a lot of Germans here as well, and they started planting apples. And the apple trade was quite a roaring business in those days, and still is. We have still a lot of orchards here. We have apple, pears, we have even kiwi fruit. We have cherries. It's cherry season at the moment. So it's really a lot of horticulture and vegetables as well. So anyway, back to the apples. So Mapua Wharf was basically established to export the apples, because in those days, we're talking about 1913, 1914, we basically had huge amounts of apples getting exported, and the roads were no good. They were no good. So I'll show you a bit of some old pictures here. So this is how it looks like. These guys were packing and loading apple boxes into the ships, and those ships would go over to Nelson, and they would be shipped out of the area. So and here we have a bit of a wharf development timeline, and you can see, I'm not sure if you can see it, but I'll just tell you anyway. So we had when was it, 550,000 cases of apples were exported from here in 1984. So it gives you kind of an idea. This was big business, and that was really the reason why the Mapua Wharf was established. This was exporting the apples. And while they built the road, and the road was built and finished in 1964, around about that time, and that's where basically the wharf lost a bit of its mojo. And what we have in these days now is the wharf is basically a tourism attraction. So lots of people coming here in the summertime. for holiday. We just had Christmas, obviously, and Christmas time is always very, very busy. It's slowed a little bit down now. It's obviously 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:30 or so. Yeah, it's a marvelous place to come. If you ever come to New Zealand, then Mapua is one of these special places. Here we have the old smokehouse. That's a classic fish and chips shop. They will be opening at 11 o'clock, so about half an hour time or so. And we just see here the whole mall with the shops, and some of them we go into later on the tour. And we have the Remu bar here. So we're just heading around and talk a little about food and wine now. So one of the key businesses or key productions in this area is actually wine. So wine, we have around about 10 wine regions in New Zealand. So we have about 6 in the North Island and 4 in the South Island. So wine is a very, very important part of New Zealand economy. And you may be aware about the wine regions such as the Marlborough Blenheim, which is famous for its Sauvignon Blancs. Here in our area, Nelson, Tasman, it's much smaller. It's more boutique-y. There we have a number of wine varieties. You see, you have a map here. Look at that. We're just passing through here. Hello, folks.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Morning.
Just doing live streaming.
Yeah, right.
So, as I said before, we have a Sauvignon Blanc. It's quite famous, but in this region, the Apple Tasman region, we have a lot of Chardonnays, Riesling, even Pinots and Montepulcianos. So, yeah, it just gives you an idea of what kind of abundance we have. So it was a little bit about the wine scene. If you have any questions, sing out and let me know. There's really so much to talk about and so many interesting features. But here's another really key attraction. We just passed these guys here. This is a cycle company called really fantastic is. So what they're doing, they're actually dropping off guests for their cycle trail to have a look at the bikes while we're there. So can I look at the bikes? They're beautiful e-bikes. So what we talk about now is the Great Taste Trail, which has been enormously popular with cyclists from around the world, locals as well actually, and especially with e-bikes. It makes it so easy for people to get around. Sorry, I just tried to read. Somebody made a question. I can't quite read it. So anyway, yeah, the Great Taste Trail, it's for internationals especially and also for locals going around. And I'll just show you a map on the other side here with another cycle company called Kiwi Journeys. I used to be a driver for them about 3 years ago, and so I know the cycle trail fairly a bit because what we used to do, transferring people around, transferring luggage around, but I'll come to that in a minute. Just go over here to the map, just a little bit to give you an idea about the cycle trail. I always think maps are the best way to say that. So look at this. We are here. This is Mapua. This is Nelson. So we're looking about the northern part of the South Island. So this is a fairly detailed map. So Nelson, Mapua, as I mentioned before, it's about 35 kilometers. Up here, further north here, we have the Apple Tasman National Park. We won't talk about that at the moment because that's a whole nother story. There's so much to talk about. So what people normally do is this. People get a bike in Nelson, and they will cycle on the trail. They go through Rabbit Island and they cross with this little ferry here. We will see the ferry later on this trip. And what normally happens then they arrive about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they have a coffee or wine or beer, and they actually go back to Nelson. So that's one option. The other option is that they can do the whole loop. So this is about 200 kilometers. That means that the luggage can be transported with companies like we just seen, Really Fantastic, or Kiwi Journeys, or Pisan people take their own luggage. So here again gives you an idea about the different bikes. You don't have to get an e-bike. They have normal bikes as well. It's about $60 a day, or they have actually flash e-bikes. You know, there's 120 up to $170 a day. So just, I don't want to go on about it, but I just want to give you kind of a quick idea on the options in respect of the cycle trail. So now I want to introduce you to my dear wife, Pamela. Here she is.
Hello guys, nice to meet you.
Did you switch your microphone on, honey?
Is it on?
Well, let's have a quick look.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah, it's on. Okay, cool. So just before we go into the shops here and talk about it, I just want to quickly raise the interesting point that these shops, which we talk about now, are basically former cold storages. So look at these huge doors, sliding doors, which were basically to keep it nice and cool inside for the apples. So the orchards, they would have brought over, as we've seen before, the apple boxes, and they would have been stored here until the ship would arrive, and then they would load the ship, and that was basically essential that they would store those apples in this storage. And what they've done in nowadays, they're actually using those former cold storage areas to have shops, beautiful little shops, and some of them actually art places. So let's talk a little bit more about the local art and shopping scene. So, honey, what do you think? You know, haven't they really beautiful art pieces here as well? I mean, they're mainly local, aren't they?
Yeah, they're authentic New Zealand art pieces, and they have quite a turnover in this shop. They turn their stock over quite regularly, so it's
What do we have here?
all sorts of things.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So that's metal here, isn't it?
Yes.
Look at that. They also have a sticker on that. It's grounded art in Z. So that's another important part. We feel very strongly about that. It has to be local. You know, we really like the local scene. So we do explore a little bit more now. So there's another huge door. It's your favorite shop, honey, isn't it?
This has to be my favorite shop. Yes, definitely. It's actually called Delicious. And it's so named because it has the most beautiful cookware, amazing platters, beautiful silverware, and it's chock-a-block full of everything you could wish for, but it's very quality. So very often in little places, little villages like this, you'll come across a shop that really sells very high quality goods.
I can't go much further because what we will get here is actually a problem with the connection, so the wire. But you get the message, you get the idea, I guess. So what I really love here is those chairs. You know, I love those chairs because what's happening? This is for the gentlemen. They basically stay outside, have a look, have a good sit, have a read. There's even a magazine. Look at that. They have a little bit of a magazine. And they wait basically patiently for their partners to come back. So today's Sunday. I think I mentioned that before. So it's market day. This is a very small market. So it's quite a tradition now in New Zealand that you have markets all over the place. They're either food markets, they're arts and crafts markets. So Saturday and Sunday is normally market day. So we also have another big market in Nelson. I'm actually considering doing a Nelson market tour as well. Let's go, let's jump. Oh. Traffic here, traffic. As you can see, we have the English traffic system where we drive on the wrong side of the road. So let's move in here. So yeah, it is
Not many out here
not
today.
many today. I mean, last week there were a few
Yeah.
more, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's
All handmade goods.
yeah, yeah. Look at that. They have all sorts of things. Do they have earrings and? But yeah, well, that's a lovely little shop for children, baby
Hello.
wear and so on. But yeah, it's fairly. Oh, look at him. He's back. He's back. Let's have a talk to him. Hello. He's actually doing. He might even give us a sound. He's doing guitars.
Hello.
Hello, sir. We're just doing a live streaming tour with some people in the US and Europe, and we thought we'll have a stop. Are you happy if we?
Yes, yes.
So what's your name, by the way?
John Dixon.
John Dixon. Hi, John. Nice to meet you.
Hello,
That's
John.
Pamela and Michael.
G'day, Michael.
So,
Hey, I love your banjos.
Love
Are they
the banjos.
Oh,
Let's get a
wow,
little
look at
bit closer.
those. Did you actually make them from scratch
Yeah, I
yourself?
made them all myself.
Oh, wow. Do you play?
Yeah, they're all slide guitars.
Oh, slide guitars.
Yeah, do you want me to
Okay.
play a tune for you?
yeah,
Please do.
yeah,
I was hoping they'd say yes.
yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Now we're getting a bit of a concert here. Famous New
by
Zealand
John
artist,
Dixon.
John Dixon. He's just getting prepared. Right. Look at that. That's a unique opportunity.
Oh, they look beautiful, don't they?
They are. Gosh, all sorts of things, some little spoons here. Look at that. Spoons and
And look at it, an old 20-cent piece.
oh, 20-cent coin.
All the old coins.
All the old
new.
coins. It's all recycled, isn't it?
Everything's recycled.
And look at the little tea strainer.
Yes, yes, I put all them on there. And those brass things are off horses.
Right,
Horse brasses.
right.
Gosh.
Let's give us a
Yeah.
bit of a
Take
bit
it
of
away, John.
a bit of a sound, John. Well done.
There you go.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you. That was great.
Yeah, unexpected highlight.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you very much, John.
Yeah.
See you next time.
That was a treat, John. Thank you.
So where are you travelling around, are you?
No, we're locals here.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we're just doing a bit of a tour, showing the world how beautiful Mapua Wharf is.
Well, yeah. Great place.
Good man, John.
Yeah, thank you.
See you later.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Good. Look, this is the thing when you do live streaming, isn't it? You never know what you come across, and yeah, it's actually the first time I've done that here with John. So yeah, good on us. We've been lucky today.
Actually,
So-
I have to confess, I actually thought they were hubcaps.
Did you?
Cars,
Oh.
yes, until I came round the other
Oh,
side.
right. Just a quick one here over there. Just, I mean, this is not a highlight as such, but this is the fire station. And yeah, our local fire brigade, we're very thankful for them. They're all kind of volunteers. And yeah, they're doing a marvelous job here. Okay. What a wonderful year it was, definitely. I can't read quite because the sun is shining in my face. So anyway, we're now on the northern side of the cold storage area. And this is now really the art scene as such. We will love some of these places here, and we'll actually go in one now. It's called Forest Fusion, and we've already seen some cool kind of items, but this one we can actually go into, hopefully, touch wood, that we don't lose the connection. But it's called Forest Fusion. Look at that, already these beautiful art. It's a local artist again, works here and exhibits his pieces. They're smaller pieces, they're larger pieces, so I'll check with the manager before and we're able to go in there. So it's
They're actually garden sculptures.
okay. Let's go to the left here. Hello.
Hi.
So we are now in Forest Fusion. I just get my glasses out to be able to read Sorry, it's get a bit wobbly now. Sorry, I couldn't read it. So yeah, we are here in Forest Fusion. You want to talk about a little bit about?
It was started by Charisse and Russell Papworth, and they make these sculptures, especially, are their trade work. It's made out of steel. These things are made out of steel, and these particular sculptures here are actually my favourite.
Yeah.
Because it's actually run on the kinetic energy of nature. So when they actually move in the wind, and they replicate leaves and the actual movement of nature, and they look amazing in the sunlight and also in the moonlight.
Look at that, we'll get a bit of a special session as well.
That's
Hello.
just beautiful.
Hello.
Yeah.
Look at that, isn't that amazing? Yeah. So that's all happening here at Mapua Wharf at Forest Fusion. Let's have another look. I'm really intrigued by the smaller pieces as well. Uppsala. We're looking here, look at that. This at the end, this is a fish obviously, which is really interesting because there's a shovel included, there's a saw, and there's actually shears, sheep shearing, old style New Zealand sheep shearing equipment. They used to do that by hand. It's a hell of a job, but they're still doing it. Very. It's a fine art. So let's move on. But they have all sorts of items used, like excuse me, as you can see, and this is really all made locally. And you know, $190 for this beautiful piece, and you know, that's 500 here, up here. It's really gorgeous. Look at that. Let's go a little bit deeper into the shop, and there's also some jewelry. You like those, don't you, honey?
Look, it's all handmade jewelry, and it's very affordable. And it's great to take back as gifts for, you know, your people when you go back home after you visited New Zealand. I mean, this here is really my favourite place because it's the very colourful, very exotic jewellery, and subtle pieces as well. Beautiful. And yeah.
But again, what I really like about it, it's all local stuff.
Hey, look at this big Rex.
Right, look at that.
Amazing.
I can't go much further in there.
Oh, that is so cool.
Because of the internet connection, but you can see, I mean.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Beautifully done.
Yeah.
And the old chain, look at that. What you can make, you know, you can create art out of anything, really.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on again slowly. We could spend here an hour, but we only have a whole hour for the whole tour, so...
we could spend money too.
Yeah, we could. We'll be back.
And
We've been here before. Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a good time of the day, isn't it? Yes. They're always getting really busy in the afternoon, so it's one of the reasons. Oh, look at that, the tree. There's actually, was there something you can actually do here? You can design your own art, is that correct?
Yeah, you can make your own jewellery and key rings, bag charms.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
I'm not sure if you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. Anyway, so heaps of options. Hey, thank you very much again, and we'll see you next time. Okay, let's move on. In the beautiful sun, it's...
These lovely doors.
Yeah, they're beautiful too. Yeah, we've got quite a bitey sun today, to be honest. We had a lot of rain on the west coast of the South Island the last few days. So it's been a little bit tropical, to say the least. Very sticky, humid heat. But hey, it's all good. It's all about summer. So we're now moving on. We won't go into other shops here again, but I think you get the message, you know, how beautiful. And I mean, I'm a tourism guy, and what I really love about it is it's small, it's local, it's not masses of people. It's one of these places. Look at the bicyclists, they're just rolling in. They're probably, you know, picked up the bike and already off to the coffee or the ice cream shop. So isn't that great? So yeah, I really believe that those are the special places in New Zealand to come to. So now let's talk a little bit more about food. And here we have Hamish ice cream shop. So ice cream, I mean, we have one of the some of the best ice creams in the world, really, because I mean we have beautiful milk products in general. So ice creams is top of the list, and this is a very, very busy place in the summer place, obviously, summertime, obviously. So ice cream and burgers, they have burgers as well. So it's all there. So in general, New Zealand is really far in advance now with food. But here, so we have a local scene here. It's a cafe, and I just quickly want to talk about the coffee house scene in New Zealand. So I'm originally from Germany, and I came here 35 years ago, and we basically just had cups of teas. But this has completely changed. New Zealand has become a coffee culture. We mainly drink coffee in the morning and lunchtime, not like the Europeans where we actually have an afternoon coffee. I personally do that. We go out for coffee, but besides, you know, the food has improved totally improved. We got the savory, sweet cakes, carrot cakes. You know, there's lots to do. So one point actually I want to make right here. If you want to support my channel, feel free to click on in the description, buy me a coffee box, buy me a coffee link. That would be appreciated. Just if you want, it's one of these things. So now we're getting into the main part of the Mapua Wharf. We have here right in front of us, we have another restaurant. It's the Jellyfish, and we're heading that way in a few minutes or so. But I just want to show you quickly around this place here. I think it's a bit better to see with the sun as well. This is actually a pub. It's not open at the moment. It's called Golden Beer. But I briefly want to talk about beer. It's beer. This region, the Tasman region, is one of the main hop producers. So we actually produce 1% of the world hop production here in this area. About 1,500 tons a year. 85% are actually exported to the US. Actually, half of this goes to the US, and the other half, more or less, I mean, goes to UK, Germany, and you know, other places, Japan as well. So we have about 17 different hop varieties, and they're highly priced. Hop is a little bit like a wine. There's all sorts of different tastes and varieties. So I could do a whole session of that. I don't want to bore you, but I just want to mention it because it goes all back to that place of plenty, which this area obviously is. So now we're coming to one of my most favorite spots. Don't you like this here? Isn't it gorgeous, honey?
Yeah, it's very peaceful, it's very idyllic. You see the canoeists out there in their little kayaks, and it's sort of like
What a gorgeous view. Yeah, it is gorgeous view. So,
Yeah.
so I'll just explain a little bit. Again, this is the Waimea Channel. This is basically a tidal river. We've got tides about 2 to 3 meters every 6.5 hours or so. And we're looking north, we're looking into the ocean, the Tasman Sea it's called. And isn't that unbelievably beautiful? We got on the other side, we've got Rabbit Island. Rabbit Island, as I mentioned before, as I showed you on the map, is basically a connection for bicyclists to come from Nelson over to Mapua. And you see that little ferry? That is the ferry. It takes about 3 or 4 minutes to cross the channel. There's no other way. Bicyclists have to take it. So they start in Nelson, go through the cycle trail, go on to the Rabbit Island, and basically crossing over here with a little ferry service, which runs every hour during the summertime. So that is, it's very cool. They usually arrive about 3 o'clock, and then they go for a beer, for a wine, or for a coffee. How cool is that? So it's very much, I'll call it the lifestyle region, because there's simply so much to do, so much to see. And yeah, it's a place of plenty. It's a place of plenty, like the old indigenous Maori population rightfully named it. So now I want to introduce you to one of my friends. His name is Hamish as well. So it's not only the Hamish ice cream shop, but it's actually Hamish, the
Sculpture.
the sculpture. So I try to bring it up a little bit, zoom it up a little bit. So if you can spot that statue, it looks like a white heron, and it is basically a sculpture or statue of a white heron. So this is Hamish. Hamish is a white heron. It's twice the normal size, the natural size. And Hamish used to come here every year from the west coast until 2010. For 18 years, Hamish came every year from the west coast breeding sites over to Mapua, landed here, spent a bit of time here, fed himself up because, again, you know, plenty of food for birds as well, and basically was a local institution. And Hamish unfortunately disappeared in 2010. And in 2012, the people, really the locals, loved him. So they put the sculpture up in 2012. So that's a story about Hamish. And I bet the Hamish ice cream shop has the name from Hamish, from the white heron as well. So
Actually, Mike, a lot of people think it's real.
yeah, they do.
Yeah,
They do.
until they get right up close.
Now let's have a swing through. Now we're very lucky today because there's actually a lot of people jumping off the wharf. So let's head over there. And this is now kind of, you know, one of the highlights of the tours. Hey, by the way, I'm just passing here. This is a flax, a New Zealand flax, very, very important. In the old days, they used to export that to the Europe as well, all over the place for ropes, doing ropes. So that's New Zealand flax, and also you have a little bit the flax seeds. They actually, can you see that here? The flax seeds, they're doing oil out of these seeds. So yeah, that's a flax. So, and also here I see this is fishing. Any of you interested in fishing? But we have some fishing regulations. If you go fishing out in the ocean, there's no permits required. If you go fly fishing for salmon, that's fishing license is required. But here we are. That's a blue cod, which is a beautiful fish, and the maximum per fisher per day is 2. So they're able to catch 2 a day. Okay, let's move on towards our gorgeous Mapua Wharf. Again, any questions? It's hard for me to see in the screen because I'm looking right into the sun, more or less. But yeah, so here's the jellyfish, which is they're open for lunch, for dinner. We've been there a couple of times. We're living nearby here. It's about 5 minutes from here, so it's our home turf, so to say. Here's my dear Pamela looking. And here we are. I like these ones. They're basically bicycle stands. Look at that. So people doing the right thing. They're coming and keeping their bicycles there. They don't even have to lock them. And then they go for a bit of a food. Look at that sign. Can you see that? I'm not sure if you can see that.
Very rustic, but
It is
really
rustic,
nice.
all right. So rustic. So sorry, I can't. It's really hard to read with that sun. It's so bright today. So let's move to the wharf now, and check it out. What's happening over there? So as I mentioned before, the wharf was kind of started to build in 1913. And it really was the hub of the community here until 1964. We have a little museum here on the right-hand side, which I love to show you. I love little museums, so I want to pop in there afterwards, just quickly. I don't want to go too much into the history lessons, but yeah, so we have here the famous Mapua Wharf. So what people do, they jump into the water. It's perfectly safe, and obviously they're crawling out again. So look at that. I'll just go right to the edge. Look at this guy now. I think he's nearly jumping. So there's quite a bit of art attached to it. There's also, look at that. We might move a little bit in the back. Now look at that. Oh, wasn't it amazing? Hey, wasn't it amazing?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. No, it's very daredevil stuff, really. I wouldn't be doing that.
Well, young people.
Not
you know.
even when I was that young.
My son, we're very scared.
Okay, let's have a look
Yeah,
over there.
yeah.
Just
No,
we
it
don't
seems
want
to be a
to
thing that
be too nosy. Hello. Hello. What's your name?
Sam.
Sam. That's Sam. People from around the globe looking at you, Sam. It's a YouTube live streaming.
Oh, great to meet you. Thanks for calling, Sam.
Okay, Sam, let's do it again. Oh, well done.
Legend, Sam.
He's a professional. So look at that. I mean, it's just a stunning day today. The Waimea goes right into the inlet. It's a mud flat. As I mentioned before, it's hugely important for the birds to feed. We have the Richmond Range in the back. Oh, there's another one jumping. Oops, Stella. We have the Richmond Range, and here we are. Look at all the young folks. They all get ready. It's one of the best days actually I've seen this summer for jumping off here. There's heaps of folks around. So okay, that's great. So let's move on, unless you want to see more jumping. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Catch you later. So now we go into the little Mapua Wharf Museum. This is one of these special places often missed. I come here often because I like history, but it's really amazing when you travel a country that you often miss these smaller places because they're just not on the radar for many people. But it's just just a brief visit, just a minute or two or whatever, because it really brings alive what's happened over hundreds of years. So we have the old Mary history when they came over, but here we have some old pictures, the first settlers. I don't want to go into too much details, but it's basically from the 1850s onwards. It was an interesting situation in those days. In October 1841, the first organized settlement came in here with ships, the English. What they did here is they landed on the other side of the bay near the Abel Tasman National Park. So this is what we see here. We see Adélie Island, and we see the three ships. And they thought they would actually establish, it was Captain Wakefield, they would establish a city over there, but they found out it's no good. So they went on the other side. It was no good for the ships because it was not deep enough. But they actually went over. So what you see, the smoke here, this is actually what we've seen before. So these are the ships that were actually, there's a fourth ship coming in. So they were the four first ships going in, and they established Nelson here. This is Nelson. You see the first campsites, and it was rapidly, in a matter of a year or two, the whole place, they had thousands of people. So it happened really, really fast. And was one of the first cities and first major settlements in New Zealand in those days. So yeah, there's some more old pictures as you would expect, but it's a neat little place. I can't go into deeply because we will lose our Wi-Fi connection. Here's another beautiful picture I like just at the end. This is place of abundance. Look at these guys. They're all fishing. It's look at these huge, probably you can't see that, but big fish. And yeah, that's one of the key reasons people settled here. It's so abundant, so blessed with a beautiful climate. So let's talk quickly about the climate. We're obviously very blessed here. The northern part is almost a little bit northern part of the South Island. It's almost a little bit Mediterranean. Our winters are very mild here, but the further south you go in New Zealand, like Queenstown and Fiordland and so on, you get snow in the winter season. We don't get snow here, but yeah, our seasons, the best time to travel this part of the world, New Zealand, is between October and April. Now we're right in the middle of the summer season, obviously, and yeah, it's the busiest time of the year. But personally, I actually prefer to travel kind of March, April. It's a lovely time because it's usually it's perfect now too, but we often get a bit more wind. We get a little bit more rain. I think there's some rain on the way later today. That's at least what the forecast says, but you never can trust the forecast anyway. But so yeah, let's work our way back towards the beginning. I just want to quickly go into one of our little favorite shops, just to give you an idea. Again, it's all about food. Coffee roast. He's doing coffee roasting. Let's just go through here. So this is basically the mall in between. You got on the left-hand side, as we've seen before, the fish and chip shop. We have the Remu bar. We have another little shop here, and we just quickly go in there and say hi. So this is the Rabbit Island coffee shop, and they, as you can imagine, they do coffee roasting. Hello. Can we just have a quick walk through? Yeah, right. That's quite funky here. It's a bit of music going on. Great. So yeah, we got all sorts of local produce here. We got jams. We've got mushrooms, we've got olive oil, all sorts of things, but it's mainly local. And the back here, I think he's roasting a few times a week. In the morning, I met him the other day at 5 o'clock. Yeah, he's doing coffee roasting. We might do a coffee roasting session one day, but it gives you kind of an idea what kind of shops to expect here at the Mapua Wharf area. Right, let's move out. So again, if you have any further questions, let me know. Hopefully, if I can get my glasses, I might be able to read a bit better. I'll go a bit in the shadow because, yeah, my apologies, but it's been really hard to read the screen because the light is so intense today. But it's good, that's good, as long as we don't have any rain. But so if you have any further questions, let me know. And I'm more than happy to answer. I'll put my glasses on now. So yeah, I mean, this is a quick loop around Mapua Wharf. We want to say thank you very much. We'll just have a final squiz around here. The first people arrived here obviously for lunch. We might go there ourselves, don't we?
This is the garden cafe.
Yeah, the garden
The
cafe.
apple shed, sorry.
The apple shed with a garden.
Yes,
coffee.
with the garden.
Yeah, it is. Sure it is. But look at that. I mean, people are often blown away when they come to the Mapua Wharf, and it's especially from overseas. I mean, many people. I mean, as you know, I'm a tour guide and travel agent. Many people can't quite grasp that there's so much space here and so few people around, and that is a really a big plus for quaint little places like the Mapua Wharf. It's very local. It's if you ever come to New Zealand, you have to come here. So I'll switch around now and I'll say bye-bye to you all, and Pam probably wants to say bye as well. So here we are. Can you see us? So hey, thank you very much, guys, for joining us. It's been a real pleasure to show you around. Hopefully you got a bit of an idea about New Zealand. As I mentioned before, I want to do maybe a Nelson trip in the future, Saturday trip. And yeah, feel free to join my YouTube channel. Feel free to support the channel with maybe a cup of coffee. We really appreciate your time and being with us. So catch you later. All the very best for you guys.
Bye.
Bye.